What's up, guys, and welcome to today. Today we are going to be doing more of a traditional style vlog where it's just a video log because my hair will not stay out of my face. Because me and Tracy were going to go to the mall today, and she was gone somewhere, and it took a while for her to get her check, and she didn't get back until 7:30. It's 7:44 right now. It's just too late to go out. We're going to get Noah in bed, stuff like that. So today I thought, you know what, I have a couple of topics, and I saved these up for instances like this so I can still get a video out for you guys, and I know that sometimes my day-to-day life isn't super entertaining from where I'm not, like, rich. So today we are going to get into one of those topics. The video I decided to do today, since the GameStop video that I did while I quit GameStop is getting bigger, it's like almost 7,500 views, which is big for a small channel like me, I thought today I would talk about my top 5 favorite games of all time. Now, just to prerequisite this list, this is not what I think the greatest games of all time are, in no way, shape, or form. This is what I personally find to be my top 5. Another note, the top 5 is in no way, shape, or form in a specific order. It's not saying one is, well, there's one specific that's number 1, and then the rest will fall in place, and they're not in any specific order, 2 through 5 or anything like that. 3 of these games in this list are always in my top 5. The other 2 kind of, it's been like this for a while, but honestly kind of depending on I know it sounds stupid, but depending on almost the time of the year or what I've played recently, it could change a little bit. But this, for the most part, is my pretty solid top 5 games ever. And I'll go into why, stuff like that. So let's get into it. We're going to start at number 5. Again, this is not saying it's the 5th, but we're going to go from 5 to 1 because that's what countdown lists do, right? Number 5, I'm going to start out with WrestleMania 2000. Now, the reason that I love WrestleMania 2000, it was a game for the Nintendo 64. A lot of it is nostalgia-based, which a lot of these games are, but I used to play it with my buddy Evan all the time, and we loved it, and it was the first game that I remember anyway where you could change character models in the game, and it would affect the cutscene at the beginning of the game. The cutscene at the beginning of the game would always use character models from the game. It wasn't a specific different file, so you could change it, and you could basically insert yourself into a cutscene in the beginning of the game. Now, that's obviously not the only thing that I liked about it. The game had awesome mechanics. It was fantastic. It was very fluid for the time. Graphically, it is what it is. Graphics aren't really usually a thing that I focus on, but it was super polygonal and stuff as it's supposed to be. Had a good taunt system. The blocking was hilarious because you would just pop your chest out and someone could hit you. They could like low blow you, it didn't matter. As long as you popped your chest out, then you blocked. And that's almost become a pop culture thing where if you played wrestling games, people will do something and you'll just kind of pop your chest out and it's like, oh man, I'm invincible. So, I don't know, but WrestleMania 2000 is going to come in at number 5. I love it. And actually, just to stir some controversy, yes, I do like WrestleMania 2000 more than No Mercy. So, yeah. Number 4 on the list is going to be X-Men Children of the Atom on the Sega Saturn. This game introduced me to a lot of X-Men characters. Now, yes, I did watch the animated series. I don't know when this game came out, but I watched the animated series later in life. I was still a kid, but post this game. This was the game that introduced me to the character of one of my favorite villains ever, which is Omega Red for the X-Men. Omega Red kind of excretes this death pollen that can kill people. He has these adamantium tentacles and stuff like that. This is stuff I learned recently. Literally, I remember playing this game and I was like, I gotta find more information about this dude because I love him. So, not pretending I'm like a big comic book know-it-all. Don't take that. But I love this game so much. It's a fighting game, and it really says a lot about the game because I'm not a big fan of fighters, and this is in my top 5. So, the game had a fantastic soundtrack. Now, this game did have several characters you could play as. You could play as Cyclops, you could play as Iceman, you could play as Colossus, you could play as Wolverine, you could play as Storm, you could play as Spiral, you could play Silver Samurai, Juggernaut, you could play as Omega Red, and seems like there was a Psylocke or Spiral, I don't know if I mentioned both of those, but you can play as several different people. Now, this game also had an amazing soundtrack. It was one of my favorites coming out. Again, I played this game on Sega Saturn, but it was available on the PlayStation, so you guys may have played it. But that is, I'm going to say that is number 4, and it's just one of my favorite games. Again, a lot of nostalgia based, but man, do I love it. Number 3 on the list actually is a modern game. It is Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I don't care how many times they release this game, I will absolutely buy it and I will absolutely play it. I prefer Elder Scrolls Skyrim over Morrowind or Oblivion. don't shoot me. I love it. Now, part of the thing that I love about it is it's definitely an RPG, and actually I usually tend to lean myself towards more traditional RPGs, especially your turn-based RPGs, but this game blows me away for so many reasons. I think graphically, for the time, it was stunning. Even the update they did on the PS4 is fantastic. I love the stuff that they've done with the mods and stuff, but I really like the leveling system. I like the idea that what you use is what you level. That's actually kind of, and I know why they didn't do it with Fallout 4, but I was really hoping Fallout 4 would adapt that system. I just really like that. I think it makes sense. Like, you know what, I want to be a mage, so I'm going to use my magic, and it levels up. Like, I like that more than the perk system that Fallout has. So I think that Skyrim, overall, the story was fantastic. Tons of gameplay. My main character had over 100 hours in, and I actually powered myself up so much to where when I went and fought the final boss, I think I 2 or 3 shot killed him with my bow because I had leveled up all my stats and stuff like that in the specific categories. So, but the game is fantastic. I love the different paths you can take, depending on what you're doing. Whether you're going through the different, like the College of Winterhold or whatever, you can join like your Thieves Guild and stuff like that. I love the almost customizability of the story. There's obviously a main story, but then the side stuff is so much too. So, Elder Scrolls Skyrim is number 3 on my list. It's almost since I bought it, it's maintained in my top 5. I think that game is fantastic. Number 2 on the list shouldn't be a surprise to you guys, especially if you're old viewers of the vlog when I would go to my buddy Evan's house and play it all the time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo. I think that, first off, the soundtrack is amazing. I actually listened to the soundtrack today. I listen to it all the time. So first and foremost, the soundtrack is awesome. I think that the multiplayer aspect of it, same console and you can switch between turtles and stuff, is awesome. Not really a lot I would change about that. I assume if it was a game released today, they'd probably do DLC where you could play as like Shredder or Rocksteady and Bebop or like anybody like that, Tonka and Razor or something. But I thought the boss battles were cool. And actually, I always thought the Slash battle was harder than the Shredder battle at the end, but that's just me. He did this weird thing where he'd roll into a ball and shoot at you. But anyway, I think that game is so awesome, and I love playing, like, even solo, it's fun, but it's super fun when you're having somebody play it, when you're playing with somebody. And this game, for a long time, when I would go to Evan's house before he moved to Korea and Japan, when I go to his house, it was just like a rite of passage. Like, all right, cool, you're going to come up, got to nail through, Turtles in Time real quick, and then we'll do whatever we had planned. So it just became such a thing, and it's just, I don't know, man, the game just holds such a special place for me for multiple reasons, but that is my number 2 favorite game of all time. One of the other things I love about it is the pacing of the game. It starts, and you're in modern times, and you're doing your stuff, and you're going through the levels, and then all of a sudden, like, middle of the game, Shredder, oh my god, he's gone back in time, so we've got to go back in time and stop him. Time travel is one of my favorite things, and you mix time travel with video games, with Ninja Turtles, which are like, that's like 3 of my favorite things ever, and it just makes for a perfect game. So overall, number 2, it's not moved up to number 1 just yet, but number 2 all time is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Number 1, this is going to be no surprise as well, and I'm sure it's such a bandwagon thing, but Ocarina of Time. But I'm not saying this from a Ocarina of Time is the greatest game ever made standpoint. I'm saying this because that game, the thing that game did to me, like, that game revolutionized me as a gamer. Up until that point, I was always just a very casual gamer. I played games very casually. I didn't, I played them, but I didn't necessarily worry about getting all the collectibles or anything like that. It was always just kind of whatever. Ocarina of Time came along, and I had to do everything. I wanted the big Goron sword. I wanted to collect all the Skulltulas. I wanted to do all that stuff. I wanted to get all the heart pieces, and I did over the course of time. And that game is pretty much what my friendship with actual Evan is based on, because we would talk about it in the morning, and I remember calling him before we had ever really hung out and asking him about something, and he was like, why don't you come over this weekend and I'll show it, and that's kind of where that started as well. So the game also brought me one of my best friends. The other thing is, obviously the story is fantastic, but the gameplay is great. There's not really anything I dislike about it. I think it's beautiful for the time, and it's so amazing. My brother talked me into buying it one time. I don't remember what the circumstance was now. I don't remember if it had birthday money or Christmas money or something, but he was like, you need to buy this. And it's like, I'm so happy he talked me into that, because it's fantastic. I love the puzzle elements of it. I love any of the hidden stuff that you had to find, like the magic eye and stuff like that. And I can't explain it, but that game literally changed my world as a gamer, and I realized there's so much more to games than what I once thought there was. The other thing is, that game's soundtrack is just the most beautifully put together thing that I've ever heard. Any of the themes, like Song of Storms, I will listen to on a regular basis, just loop. Somebody will loop it for 10 hours on YouTube. I won't listen to it for 10 hours, but I will listen to it for a long, long period of time. I love it, man. It's that soundtrack and the Turtles in Time soundtrack, I probably listen to more than any other video game soundtrack out there. It is so good. Now, there are some games that I will say are honorable mentions that sometimes could get put in there, but they're not in there just yet, but that I absolutely love. Now, one of the games, and I'm not going to say necessarily one specific game, but a series, and that is Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I guess if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Those games were phenomenal, man. I love playing them. Character selection, obviously, music, the soundtrack to it with the just like the super awesome 80s punk, 90s punk music was great. And then it would have a little bit of rap. Like, I loved that it would be like Rancid 1 minute and then KRS-One the next, and then you'd have your Cypress Hill and then you'd have your Primus, and it was just so it was such an awesome mix of music, and it brought skateboarding into the main frame, kind of. There were other skateboarding games that I love, like Grind Session, Thrasher Skate and Destroy and stuff, but Tony Hawk, man, always held a special place. That's always really, really close to being a top 5 game for me. I love it. Now, I know that this list is probably going to upset some people, and some people will probably find it okay, but again, this is not what I'm saying the greatest games ever are. These are my personal favorites. I know if you're ranking actual just quality of games overall, you're going to have people with your Mario RPGs, you're going to have people with, obviously, your Final Fantasy 7s or 8s, because I guess that's kind of a split fan base, or 9s. And then you're going to have your like Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross guys, your Castlevanias. There's tons of great stuff out there, but these are just the games that I put the most time into and still can play to this day. So I'm interested to know what you guys think. What are your all's top favorite? Not what you think the 5 greatest games ever made are, but what do you... Because there is a difference there. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, WrestleMania 2000 is probably not on a lot of people's top 5 greatest games ever made, but it might be in a lot of people's top 5 favorite games, their most enjoyable games. So what are your guys' 5 most enjoyable games? I don't care where, when it's from. If it's nothing but new games, that's cool, man. Let me know down below. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. And with that, I'm going to end the video here today. I'm glad I have some of these subjects tied up, man, because like I said, we were going to go to the mall today and do a bunch of cool stuff, but Tracy got home super late, so that kind of got nixed. But hopefully we'll get that done in the next couple of days. So if you stumble across this video because of video games, I do daily vlogs. Feel free to check those out. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.